Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to the next part of Turbo Turkey. I think it's part 8. Is it part 8? I don't know. I've lost track. Anyway, we're going to go through 2018 today. We're almost to the end of this story, man. Aren't you just, enthralled? Um, sorry if my nose is a little stuffy. I've been dealing with allergies and head cold or sinus shit. I just can't stop dealing with this sinus shit, let me tell you. Also, I got a haircut after I did the video last week. As you can see, it's much shorter. Not quite in my face, not quite as long in the back. Still a little bit in the face, a little bit here and there, but it's still somewhat thick. But I got a haircut. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. You can kind of see my face more. Not that you'd want to. See, Anna hates when I do that, when I self-deprecate myself. Because she's a loving wife. A loving wife. She's at work right now. That's why I'm doing this now. Anyway, my voice isn't too shot. It's mainly just, stuffiness. Also, I actually sprained the arch of my foot the other day on the soccer field when I was coaching soccer. And, so I've been dealing with that. I've had to wrap it with an ace bandage for the last couple of days. So I'm letting it breathe because I wore it all day at work last night. So gonna go ahead and just chill because it's a Friday. So anyway, let's get to the story and stop babbling at him. Good God, it was so long last week. Anyway, I actually have down here. I have last week I went to our Turbo Turkey Productions sketch comedy improv and original plays Facebook page. Otherwise, look at facebook.com/Rafter of Laughter. Because that is actually what a group of turkeys is called. Look it up, Rafter. So we're the Rafter of Laughter because we do comedy. You're laughing at that right now, I can tell. Anyway, so when we last left off, I know last time there was a lot of emotional things going on and talking about, issues and things like that. But I don't think there's quite as much to talk about in 2018. I think 2018 and also 2019 were pretty solid years. There may be a few things here and there, but I don't think there's too much in terms of the drama as we've had in previous things. So anyway, we're going to start right at the beginning of the year. We had a couple things going on in January. First off, we had Improv Month. This year we did a thing called, basically we're setting up like a TV pilot or a Netflix pilot, and we just kind of improvised that. That was a lot of fun. Two of our people, Abby and Helen, had, officially joined the group. Helen Tang, who had done Electric Man with us the previous year, and who was very awesome, had joined the group, and that was super cool. So we did that show, and it was pretty decent. It went pretty well. It wasn't too bad. And then there were no incidents this time, like last year's Pansy incident. So that was already a plus right there. We didn't piss anyone off with our thing this time, so that's always a good thing. So also, we had I might have mentioned it last time, but we had been working on a staged reading version of the Safeguard Society, which we wanted to develop into a play in the future. More on that in 2019. But the idea behind what we were doing was we actually had surveys in the crowd too, like just quick little surveys about what they thought about the reading, so we could get some feedback on it, so we could work on the script further. So me, Josh, and Anna all took chapters and wrote it. It was probably the first time we really fully worked together on a script since Electric Man, so that was cool. Because beyond that, most of the other times I've just kind of I've written the script and then people just add tweaks here and there. And of course, Dark Meat, we all worked on our own plays. Electric Man, when we redid it, we also edited. But anyway, so we went up and did a reading of that, and we got a decent amount of the Electric Man cast back. Aaron came back, Umberto came back, and then Helen, who was in Electric Man, we had her playing this villain role. Oh my God, what's the villain's name? Oh my God. Anyway, wow, I'm actually drawing a blank. Bleak, that's right, Bleak. Much like my brain right now. I am Bleak. She played Bleak in the reading. Simone was going to be playing Dark Clover, but she had a thing come up, family thing come up that was unfortunate, and wasn't able to do it at that time. So Abby, our new person, who originally I was going to have do the narrator, ended up reading for Dark Clover there. Amplifier, which is a new character, Charles, who had done Parsing Race with, came up and did that with us, and that was super cool to work with him again. And then Tim Takeshi, who I'd worked with tons of times, he was cast as Propel, and it was pretty much, it was great about it was just like, he came to our sketch thing, and then like, I said something like, oh, I wrote this character for you. He was like, cool, I'm in. And it was just like, which is the coolest thing. That's always great as an actor. And obviously we were very good friends too, but like, it's nice when you can just be like, hey, I've got this script, and it's not like, well, sorry, I need money, or I need creative freedom. You know, it's like, and obviously not that he didn't have any input on the character at all, but like, I think that it's nice when you just can have that kind of, you know, you've built that kind of relationship where you're like, hey, I've got this thing. Cool, let's check it out. You know, some people want to see a script, and that's totally fine. Who else was in it? Let's see. Christina Berto, Josh played Dr. Nose again. Aaron played Neuromistress. Jag, who was in Turbo Turkey, actually read for Mr. Gloom, is one of our main villains. And he did a great job at it, too. Who else was in it? Oh, my God. Who else was in it? So we had Bleak. That's Helen Aravinchin played Bleak. Diana ended up doing the narrator since Abby had to step in as Dark Clover. And, of course, Anna was playing Fiona Lelio, of course, like she did Electroman. So I think that should be everybody. That's all the main 6 characters. And then we just all kind of filled in as... Oh, and James Lynch, who was also Turbo Turkey, was the snail. That's who I was missing. I knew I was missing someone. And we had a lot of fun. It was good. It was rough because it was a reading. But I think it was an excellent suggestion by Clayton Weller for the Pocket to have it start as a reading and let the audience kind of pick who they, you know, what. Basically, the idea behind it was like, who would you like to see do a solo show, sort of go in the Avenger style, to eventually build up to a Safeguard Society show once we have a little more time to build it up, flesh it out, and all that stuff. And so we had them kind of vote and all that on which character. And we had, of course, 2 female characters, African American character, an Asian American character, and and Alex came back to play Panoramic. Another one I'm forgetting. Good God. Get with it, Adam. Act like you're like stuffed up or something. Good God. So that the idea, and 2 white guys. 2 white guys. Anyway, not that matters, thank you. So anyway, with most of the votes we had gotten, I think Amplifier and Fiona probably got the most votes. So I think it was probably about a tie. But I knew for sure that Anna would definitely be available. Whereas Charles was, you know, he lived in Tacoma, and so it was kind of a drive for him up there and all that. So not that I wouldn't have been happy to have him continue the Amplifier role and work on that, but I wanted to really take some time with that one too. You know, co-write and work with that stuff. And get the right director, who I still have someone in mind. We are still going to do Amplifier at some point. I've actually written the script already. And talked to the person who's... We'll get to that later, Adam. That's not right now, Adam. You stop talking about things in the future. I don't know why I'm so angry at myself today. It's weird. Anyway. So yeah. But like I said, it went really well. A couple friends came, gave feedback and all that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a good way to start things off. And so, like I said, we would be planning to work on Fiona, whose story was kind of told a little bit in Electric Man, but when I wrote those stories many years ago, I, you know, had a separate story that I wrote. So basically I was just going to adapt what I'd written and, you know, space it out a little bit more to fit the proper thing. And the Pocket was good enough to book it for... I'll have to look on here. Was it June or July? We'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get there, Adam. Just calm down. We're going into February next. So February came. We did, it was February Laughter again. St. Valentine's Laughter, that's what it's called. We did that again. It went pretty good. Just short form games. So that was fun. And I think Helen did that show with us too. And Abby did that show with us too. That was fun. And then we got into March. And March Laughness was what was next. And we did that again. And I remember Abby did that as well. It was after this that I believe Abby got pregnant, so she had to bow out, which was unfortunate, but great that she was pregnant and was very happy to be pregnant, of course, as most women are. And so it was sad to lose her from the group because she was absolutely awesome to work with in the short time we got to work with her. But it was cool to, but congratulations to her on that, of course. And she had a couple more kids since then, I think, or at least two. She had at least two, I think. It might be up to three now. I don't know. Anyway, not important, but it was definitely great to work with her, though. Helen obviously was, had a job that they had her travel a lot, so she was kind of in and out here and there. But I know she did at least a sketch show with us, I remember. Let's look at that real quick on the Facebook page. What's next, Adam? Let's keep on track here. So we did that. That was good. March Laughness happened. Oh, yes, Grab Bag. Yes, then we did Grab Bag in April because that was a successful show last year. So we did it this year, too. How about that? So that was good. Grab Bag's always fun, like I said. We started that last year, and it's just a good go-to show. If you just really need something quick and easy, we had done improv for several years. We had good chemistry. So it's like, put a bunch of games in a bag, let the audience pick your set. And it keeps you on your feet. And sometimes you'll put a game in there, and then it gets chosen, and you're like, oh. We have tweaked it a little bit since then, but it'd be like, oh, I haven't played that game in years, and I've forgotten how to play it. Oh, well, we dive into that. Or someone like, oh, I hate that game. I don't want to play that game. Then why'd you freaking vote for it? Anyway, I think I had put most of the games out at that time. Now we kind of more collaborate on, let's not do that game. Or we're not really good at that game, or we need some work on that game, or whatever the case. But anyway, Grab Bag is a lot of fun. Let's see what else was happening. I said, I'm just going to look in. Last time I took cheat notes. This time I didn't feel like writing stuff down. Yes, let's see. So the next show, we didn't do a May show. As I said, we took January off to do... My goal at this time was, partially it was because, hey, we were doing these May and January and August shows, and no one was coming. So why do those? The other part was that was like January that made us, so we had our safeguard started reading. But then we also, of course, were part of Improv Month, so then we just did an improv thing to focus on. That was the only thing we had to do for January, no Grotto show. Okay, cool. Then May is Sketch Comedy Month. So what we did that year, I'd written this sketch called The Audition many years ago. And I think I mentioned it before, we did the first one as part of our first time at Sketch Comedy Month. And I remember it just didn't get the laughs I was hoping for. The premise is basically this guy goes to an audition, and he wants to audition for Harvey. Now, if you don't know the play Harvey, and probably some people in the audience didn't, basically it's this guy who's, it deals with mental illness and all that, but he has this imaginary rabbit that only he talks to and can see. And it's this really large, tall rabbit. So me being the tall guy playing off that was just like, I keep demanding to the director that I get to play Harvey, and then I tweak the script, and and I also tied into a personal theater story. I won't get into it too much, but basically one of the lines was just that in high school, and I'll talk about high school theater at some point, in a different, separate Turbo Turkey non-video, because these are fun to talk to the camera. This is my life story. We have a little Pepsi here. Phlegmy. Anyway, back to me. So I did Fiddler on the Roof in high school as part of it was a summer stock type thing. High school summer stock, I can't speak, type thing. And I remember, originally we were supposed to do West Side Story. And I got cast as Officer Krumke, which I was very excited about. For one, I didn't have to do any singing or dancing. As much fun as it was to do the previous year, being a chorus member, I was like, cool. It was a cool role, and I was like, oh, this is going to be cool, I'd see West Side Story, and Officer Krumke, I get to be the, kind of be the bad guy a little bit, I was really looking forward to it. And I had to go audition, and they asked me, I'm like, cool. Then all of a sudden, this touring company, who was apparently coming in September, basically said, no, can't do West Side Story because you're going to interfere with our marketing. We were high school. We were high schoolers. I didn't see what the big deal was. So they suddenly just, caved into that and switched to Fiddler on the Roof. And so I went from having this super awesome part in as Officer Krumke to suddenly being the Russian priest. in Fiddler on the Roof. Now, for those of you who don't know the Fiddler on the Roof script, or I'm not sure if he's in the movie or not, or how the movie goes, but in the script that we had, the Russian priest comes by at the beginning of the thing and greets people, says absolutely nothing, does not sing, does not dance, does not appear ever in the script again. I did come on once as a Russian soldier later on, but that was the only two parts I had. And don't get me wrong, it's not an ego thing, it's not a I'm the greatest actor ever thing, and I get the audition of small parts, but come on, I would literally be at rehearsals. I would do my entrance, and then I would go to the mall for 2 hours, back when malls were more of a popular thing, and I would come back to do my next entrance. That's how rehearsals were. And I remember one time, the director was like, "Oh, do you think we're getting enough stage time?" And I just was too nice about it. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, things are fine." I'm like, "No, not really. I'm doing nothing." Like, there was one point where I was going to be like, have a girl on my shoulders being Grandma Seidel and all that. And I just remember like, then they ended up having my friend Doug do it instead because he was tall too. And I was just like, well, there goes another part I'm not doing in the show. And it's like, it wasn't like I needed a bunch of lines. It wasn't, but like I could have done some chorus bits. I could sing okay. I could do some dancing if you work with me a little bit. But like, so I remember like, so at that point I'm just like, well, I beefed up the script some where he's a Russian mobster called the priest, and so that was kind of the running joke. And so I decided, okay, well, I wrote a sequel to that where it was the switch and it was a female auditioning. And her thing was that she wanted to play the role of Godot in Waiting for Godot, which if you know the play Waiting for Godot, Godot never actually shows up. It's just two guys on a bench arguing. And so it's the same kind of situation, the director trying to, get it, and she just adds more and more ridiculous. Now, I was actually as much as I liked the first one, I was much more proud of the second one because I just went overboard with it in terms of the ridiculousness of it. And so anyway, I did actually write a third one where the two characters come together and they're trying to make this ridiculous play. We played off. We stopped doing the imaginary character one. We just said Glenn Gray, Glenn Ross. We just tweaked the whole thing, and we tweaked the script some. And that's the basic gist of it. It's actually funnier than it probably sounds right now. But so anyway, as part of Sketch Comedy Month, I said, why don't we do the whole trilogy? And so we cast the characters as need be. Jag played the director in the second one. Diana played the director in the first one, and then I believe it was Josh played the director in the last one, and Jag and Diana's characters reappear. And so we did it, and it was pretty good. I would definitely say the second part went over the best. I think Waiting for Godot is just more of a popular play than Harvey. Wasn't that there weren't any laughs. It was better laughs on the first audition than there was the time I'd done it years ago. But it was also like, oh, man. And there was a decent amount of laughs for the third one. But I definitely think the second one. So in hindsight, I'm kind of like, I kind of wish we'd started with the first one. Because then you get that kind of right off the bat, this shit's funny. We're already laughing. Then you build to the next one, So, finishing strong and starting strong is usually your best thing with sketch comedy is what I've learned. So that went pretty well. We were part of this showcase, and this guy, Sweaty D, was the character, and he's got this wig and glasses and all that. And he looks, in the suit and all that. And this guy is so good. His real name is Randy Wood, and he is just so like. If you ever want to talk about being in tune with a character, he is so good. Because he is just so like, when he puts that wig in, it transforms him. Because he's a very nice guy, off stage, out of character and all that. But when he's in that character, he is in that character. He is committed to that character, and he is so funny. And he was kind of the MC host of the show. And so it made it really fun. And he reached out to us before the show and all that, and was just super, super nice and stuff like that. I feel bad though because like he's so funny, and I just remember like I don't remember who it was, but the person from the Pocket that was working there, volunteering there, introduced him and like gave possibly the worst freaking intro I'd ever seen in terms of hyping the crowd. He felt like he was like on something or something. I don't know, maybe he was stoned or something, but like, and I was just like, I felt bad because like Randy was Sweaty D was super funny as hell, and like. But like the crowd just felt like they were not hyped up by it. And that's the thing. When they introduce the show, they usually hype it up really well. But this guy just was really low energy. So, and I'm not knocking the person. I'm sure they were just, who knows what they were doing. But, but like, I just remember I felt bad because I was like, man, he's super funny, and like these people, it's taking these people a while to get into his character, but definitely, if you ever get a chance to check out Sweaty D, check him out. He's around town occasionally. He also does stuff on TikTok, little shorts and stuff. Very funny. It's just he's phenomenal. Cannot say anything bad about that man. He's great. And he got married recently, I saw. So congrats to him on that too. So yes, so that was fun. We enjoyed ourselves and enjoyed working with the other groups that were there and stuff. Also that year, this was this year, right? Yes, because that 2019 was different. I did something different that year. I was a part of things. But there was a thing called, I forget what it was actually called. There was always like events during the month, and I never really participated in the other events other than that tournament we did long ago. And there were events during the month, usually like other sketch months, things like, a bunch of sketch people get together and do this stuff. Well, what they did is they had like the first week or two was like, or week there was just a bunch of people get together and write sketches, and then you get a bunch of actors, and then those people perform it, and basically you have 10 minutes, and really you had like 2 or 3 rehearsals tops, and like I remember I came on a Wednesday, and at first I was hoping to be part of the writing thing, but my work schedule kind of conflicted with the writing part, so I got to be part of the acting part with Elena Martinez directed it, and she was super awesome to work with too. Also, check her out; she's awesome. And I got to be a part of that, and that was super cool because we did I think we did at least 5 or 6 sketches, and we had to memorize those things in practically a day or two. So, and I remember it was cool. I remember being disappointed though because it was the first thing I'd done outside of Turbo Turkey, anytime I ever sketch do anything, and there was a good audience there, and Anna was there. But nobody else in Turbo Turkey could make it or made it out and all that. So it's I wasn't bitter about it or nothing like that. But it was just kind of oh man, I would like you guys to see me do something because it was something. It wasn't just me and Turbo Turkey doing something. It was me, representing the group well, but doing something different. And I just remember being excited about that because it was fun, and I did really good. And the people I performed with were really good. And I thought we did really well. We just had 10-minute set, but I think the crowd really liked us. I had people say, "Hey, you're a really good actor," and all that, and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Now I'm not one to criticize other groups because that's the last thing I want to do. Comedy's subjective, and I think that's important to say. And I'm not criticizing them personally. I think they were very nice guys. I met them, but after our 10-minute set, they had a 45-minute set for theirs, and they had a whole kind of story sketch. So rather than a couple different sketches chopped up and put together as a full show, they had basically this one long 45-minute sketch, which is fine. If you have this big story, that's great. And there was some good stuff with it. They did some stuff with the TV stuff, or it made it seem kind of like almost a sitcom-y thing, So there were some good ideas in it, but there was this one character that kept coming back. And this was on Mother's Day weekend, I believe. And this character kept coming back, and his running joke and gag was, "I need a mommy, I need a mommy, I need a mommy." And you know what? Comedy has a thing called the rule of 3, and they definitely exceeded that. Because after about the 3rd time of hearing that, I was like, okay, is this character going to do anything else? Nope. They're a one-trick pony. And I get that, if you're going for a classic sitcom, there might have been a character that would do that. But 45 minutes of it was just wow, these guys are funny, but man, I am sick of that character already. And that's not a knock on the whole sketch. It's just that one character. And nothing against the actor doing it. They did a good job with what they did, but it was just kind of and the people were still laughing. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't oh, well, this brother. But me personally, just my own personal choice there, it just felt kind of okay, this would have been funny in a 10 or 15 minute thing, but 45 minutes of this guy continually popping up and saying the exact same thing. It just it just kind of gets on your nerves, and it did. But like I said, that was nothing a personal attack, just a personal thing, not a personal thing, but just a critique from myself. But nothing against those guys as a group. They were funny overall. But anyway, that was fun too. I enjoyed doing that. It was kind of cool to be part of something else, and I appreciate the people I got to work with on that. Then June came around, and we did a sketchy night, and that was the one that Helen was a part of. Was a sketchy night, which is right here. Yes, One Sketchy Night in June, which I posted right there. The screen bag gag again. I don't know why I posted so many versions of it. That's cool. Yes, that's Sketchy D Spectacular. Yes, there it is. And there we are. Oh, did I switch that? Oh, we did do a May show. Okay. I was wrong again. Or at least we tried to. I don't know. Yeah, okay. So before we talk about One Sketchy Night, there was Night of the Improviser, which we had done at the Pocket the previous year. But we didn't kind of do it the same. I think it was basically the same improv game, so I think we just had a couple people there. So that might have been the one that Rhys came to. A good friend of mine, Rhys Henley, he's now a member of the group. But him and his wife, Tomoko, came. And it was kind of a surprise because I at first I didn't recognize. I think he was wearing a hat, and like I saw her and I'm like, she kind of looks familiar, like I've met her before or something. And then it took me a minute to realize it was Rhys, and I'm like, oh my god, and so we hugged it out and all that stuff. And so yeah, it was cool. I remember that's right, that was that show, wasn't it? Yeah, that was fun. I can remember it was either Grab Bag or that show, but it was definitely one of those shows that they came to. So that was cool. Yeah, so anyway, back to One Sketchy Night. I remember this was after Donnie had left, and Jag had written a sketch called The New Donnie. And I'm trying to remember everything else we did in the show, but I remember this one sketch because Donnie was known for, like, in sketches, taking his shirt off and all that. Just some random thing he would do. It's just something he would do as a character a lot of times. And so Jag had written the sketch that he was going to be the new Donnie, and he would just take his shirt off and walk around, and it was a good running joke. It was a good sketch. I remember that one. I think this one was more about new sketches, and then we did a show later in the year where it was kind of like we brought back some old sketches, which was cool. Kind of mix it up a little bit. And I'm trying to remember what other sketches I wrote myself. They were clearly memorable. But yeah, I remember that was cool. And yeah, so that was June. And then what did we do in July, Adam? I don't know. Let me check. Real quick here. I'm just rambling on. Anyway, just want to drop a full-length sketch show. Yeah, sounds about right. So we break a break from how many months of awesome shows. Yep, cool. Anyway, that's Sketchy Night. Cool. And that was fun. And Sketchy Night was a callback to one of the first sketch shows, if you remember, which was also called One Sketchy Night, I believe. So yeah, cool. Oh yes, July. This was actually the first time we did Wild Card, and my idea behind it originally, before I tweaked it to be a long form thing, which is still a work in progress, was that I actually had the audience vote on 4 potential options for the July show, and we called it Wild Card, as in, hey, you're going to vote for one of these things, and it'll be a wild card for us that we find out what we're doing. So I believe what we did, I even have it right here. It's called Wild Card. I'll leave potential show choices, and you vote, and that will be the show we do. So these things were to do a long-form show called Family Reunion, focusing on a sitcom like Family Reunion and the cast ensues. The pilot, a long-form where we act out a Netflix pilot, which is callback to what we did in January, so we could have done that. Night of the Improviser, which was going to be what we did in May, or maybe we didn't do it in May. I don't know. Or would we do that again, Adam? I don't know. And Team Games, much like Martial Aptness, but we split up. It ended up being Team Games, I remember. That was what we voted on, and that's what we did. And it was a lot of fun. I remember that James liked it a lot because we did, we did Team Games like Martial Aptness, so it was pretty fun. So kind of call back to the Improv Olympic we did the previous year. So yeah, also in July, hey, here we go. The other thing to talk about, yes. Fiona Lelio. So this was Anna's lead part here. And like I said, this is the story of Fiona Lelio, who was a superhero as well, who was the love interest of Electric Man. And this is kind of telling where she went when she got shot, and then how she got her powers and stuff. And we cast an actress named Charla, who played her mother in this. So we got to have an extended part of her mother being the original Fiona Lelio, and then kind of passing along to her daughter and all that. But she was kind of in this fantasy land where there's witches and warlocks and stuff. And we had a great cast of just some people we hadn't worked with before, which was always good. There's Emily, there's Rhys, not the Rhys Henley that I was talking about, Rhys Myers, who played a great role. And we had a kind of a demon character, and we had a witch character, evil witch character. Diana directed and also played a character in the show. I reprised. I was basically playing Jeffrey Dexter the whole time, not as Electro Man, but being kind of the downtrodden, which he was in the third act. After losing Fiona. And spoilers, Adam. Why don't you show them the show sometime? Anyway, you want a DVD, you gotta pay for it. Anyway, I don't know what I'm rambling about. I just go from thought to thought. Anyway, but yeah, so we had a great cast. I'm trying to remember everybody's name from it, but everybody was great. Now, during this time, I remember before we get to the going into how the show went and all that, I remember I had submitted for Sketch Comedy Month like we had previous years. Now, during this time, the Pocket was the ones who were running Sketchfest, and then Clayton, I believe, had moved on around this time. He was moving to Colorado, and Sarah had taken over as the owner and runner of the Pocket, with a lot of other people helping and stuff. And so thanks to Sarah, they set up the show, Fiona, for us. But anyway, I had submitted for Sketch Comedy Month, but I had also emailed, Untitled Productions had taken over the running of Seattle Sketchfest, which, all right, whatever. That's totally fine. But I had also seen that, like, they had done the tournament again. And there's a part of me was like, a lot of times I can understand not doing the tournament 2 years in a row because it's like, hey, if you won, then why are you going to be in it again? But I remember, like, usually they would let you know when that tournament was. So, like, hey, enter this. And then I think the thing was if you won the tournament, then you would get an automatic spot in Seattle Sketchfest, which is a super cool thing to do. And so, honestly, I'd seen that it had already happened. And I'm like, oh, we never heard anything about it, Because usually it was the Pocket would let you know when that stuff was going on. And so they weren't. So, okay, they were taking over this thing. I get it, finding ways. But I had said that question, and I never got an answer to that question, really. So I was like, okay, well, whatever, no big deal. I was kind of a little perturbed about that, but I'm like, okay, it's fine. I mean, I'll admit I was kind of upset at the time. I'm like, why are these people never zoning you? And then we didn't end up getting in. For the first year, and after being there 2 years, and I didn't take it the best way. And not that I didn't say anything about the time, but I was disappointed because to me it was almost like my attitude at the time. And I'm not saying this for overall because I'm never one to burn bridges. But like I remember at the attitude time was just like, well, so now we're not good enough to get in. What the hell, because we had been in there the last couple of years, we built a good thing, and it just felt, now these other people take over, now we're not good enough, what the hell? But anyway, what we had sent in probably wasn't as funny as, previous things that we had sent, and that is what it is. But it's fine, whatever. So that was that part, and I think I was more perturbed about the lack of response to it. Like, where's my question? I just want to know what's going on. I never really did get the answer to that question, but whatever, it's cool. Life goes on. But yeah, what was great about Fiona, and we had and Tim Takeshi did the show as well, because we couldn't find an actor for this one role, and it was just like, we had this one guy show up, and he's like, oh, I don't have, transportation here, and I can't do this and this, and it was just like, okay, then why are you here? It's like, we can't, I don't mind giving rides here and there, but like, it just felt like it was going to be too much. And he just was like, well, I really wanted to play that role, but it's like, well, you didn't show up to the actual audition, so you missed out on that role. We cast that role already because the person who read it was amazing. So there was a girl named Stephanie who was a very nice person, but was basically supposed to help Diana and be a stage manager, and supposedly had experience and didn't really do much for stage managing. And there were things I disagreed with, not fully, and not like, but me and Diana had a few clashes here and there, but not me. Not just like Electro Man. They're just, things are water under the bridge. It's all good. But like, there were things that we did with the budget sometimes where she had this vision of like, because it was this otherworldly place, of having like makeup, and she actually got a makeup artist, a very nice person, and very talented and stuff like that, to do the makeup for the villains and stuff, which was super cool, but like, we're spending budget on another person, and we didn't do any makeup for Electro Man, so I don't know, it was a choice, whatever. But and then she kind of like canoodled this volunteer at the Pocket, into basically running sound and lights for us. Which, because I was going to run sound originally, but I was also finding, even though I wasn't a huge part, having to run and do, because I was also doing this voiceover role, which was just a disembodied voice. So I had to run and do that as well. So I was having to. So anyway, she roped this guy into doing lights and sound for us, and he did a great job, essentially having to do both. I mean, there were a few hiccups here and there from watching the video, but that's to be expected, having to run both lights and sound at the same time. Anyway, the good news was we sold out the Pocket. And this is the first time we ever sold out the Pocket, because I think they had about 50 seats and plus or something like that, and we sold it out, much like we did with Electric Man. We sold out with Fiona Lalio as well, and we only got to, unfortunately, we only got to have the one performance, and in hindsight, I wish we'd had more, but still, one performance, and we sell out the Pocket, and that was a big accomplishment for us, because we did well with that sketch show the year before, but to sell out the Pocket performance was super cool, and it was great. Oh my God, sorry to flash back for a minute. I should probably mention the thing that also happened in January, is me and Anna got engaged. I think I mentioned the jokes about a sketch where, when do you get to propose to her thing? Well, what happened was, let me just go back to that real quick. I know it's not technically Turbo Turkey, but Anna's a member of Turbo Turkey, so it happens, and you know Anna because she's my wife and she's on this channel too. Anyway, back to me. So what happened was, I remember the proposal exactly, and I can go into more details about our relationship another time, but I just remember it's January. I knew after Ruby died that I wanted to make her happy again. We get sentimental for a minute, because I know she was really down about it, and we both felt bad because it was like we only had the cat 2 months, and we got it from a friend of hers, and it was we felt guilty about it, and cats, animals, dogs, sometimes they're very stoic. And sometimes you don't know something's wrong with them until, it's too late. It is what it is. But so I remember those many months I was saving up money because I was like, I wanted to get her an engagement ring. We've been together a long time. I was like, let's do this, And so I remember it was New Year's Eve, actually. I had actually, her parents sometimes give us money and stuff, because they're super nice. Around Christmas, just, a little bit here and there. Just, help out the bank accounts and stuff, expenses and all that. So, anyway, so I took that money to put it towards a ring for Anna. And so I remember we went and saw, what the hell is that? The Disaster Artist, yeah. The Tommy Wiseau, James Franco movie. Which was freaking hilarious, by the way. And I remember we did that, and then my plan was to take her to, like, a park and then just, like, go into it. But for some god-awful reason, I could not find a place to turn around and go to the park. So I ended up, like, just being in the mall parking lot and then basically saying, I don't want you to be my girlfriend, I want you to be my wife, and here's a so, yeah, I can get into more romantic stuff with that later. But so anyway, we were engaged at this point anyway. Also at this time, Jag was doing a show called Ghostlight. And at first I thought when he said Ghostlight, at first I thought he was working at Ghostlight Theatricals, who did stuff at the Boward Underground. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But it was actually a show called Ghostlight. And it was this guy from New York had written the script and was directing it and stuff like that. And they needed somebody who did good physical comedy and things like that. And Jag actually, because he's a super cool guy, recommended me for it. And it was really a great script. The problem for me was just that I had the soccer schedule and I had my other work schedule, and it was just like, plus we had Fiona going on, and then we were going to bring the Dark Meat to Seattle. We were bringing that in October to the Pocket, and we'll get back to that in October. But yeah, and so it was just like I went to a couple of rehearsals. It wasn't bad. It was fun, but I felt like I was too behind everybody else, and so that was that, and he actually did come and see our sketch show in August, which, like I said, was called Sketch Laughter, because I was always putting that laughter word there, for our August show. And the show went pretty good. But after that, I think he, because I had already questioned about the schedule, because it was a lot of daytime scheduling too, and I had to sleep during the day. And he said, and I met your wife, and I knew you got a lot coming on, so I'm going to let you, be free of this and all that stuff. But like I said, we're still friends on Facebook. He was very cordial about it. Had things been perfect in my schedule, I would have loved to have done it. but it was okay. I had no hard feelings about it. It was like, hey, you know what? It was I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate Jag, getting me involved. But it was unfortunate. Just the timing of it wasn't right. So all good though. Maybe someday we'll get to work together again. So anyway, so I said August we did another sketch show, and there wasn't a ton of people, but we had some people. But so August came, and then what happened next, Adam? I don't know. I don't know what happened. What happened in September, Adam? Something happened in September. What was it? Okay, let's scroll through here again. What's that audition listing? Oh, for the Dark Meat. Yeah, we did auditions. Oh, yes, we did auditions in August. We also did auditions in August for the Dark Meat. Now, as far as people who came back for the Dark Meat, we had Matt, who had done the show. He was happily, like he's like a, what is it? It's a lawyer, but it's a patent lawyer. He's a patent lawyer. So does good money wise. He has a wonderful, beautiful house in West Seattle. But when we were bringing it back, he's like, I'm in, because he absolutely loved working on it the first time we did Invariant. So he was back to reprise some of his roles. Rhys Myers came back as well, who just done Fiona with us. Very talented, and that was cool. Simone came back to reprise her roles, of course, in Jenny as well as the other ones. Jeanette wasn't able to come back, which is okay, and Fantasia wasn't able to come back. Draco was... Where was Draco? He was around town, I think, still, but, he wasn't really doing any acting at the time. And then, who else? Nick wasn't able to come back either. So we got a guy named William to play the father for the Jenny role, and also in the vampire one. Diana, of course, me, Diana, Anna, and Josh pretty much reprised our roles. I also tweaked it so that my character, Ollie the Otter, was also kind of the MC, crypt keeper, narrator throughout, which I kind of regret. Not because I want to be in more stuff, but I just wasn't that good of a narrator. I tried doing a lot of pun jokes, and just like, you're not the crypt keeper, Adam. This isn't working. But it's okay. It was fine. And then, let's see who else. William was in there. A girl named Maddie was in there. She was very talented. Jasif, who was very funny as well. And Alexander was very funny as well. So we had a lot of new people. They were great, though. And we got to do that. Those auditions went really well. And it was cool to get some people in there. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But before we get to that, guess what else happened in September, Adam? Well, I don't know. Let me take a look, see? Grab bag. Oh, well, we did grab bag, for one thing. We did grab bag. That was fun. But you know what else happened in September? Well, this was after. Actually, this was after, wasn't it? Yes, it was, Adam. Know your role, Adam. So we brought grab bag back for September because it was an easy show. But the reason we wanted to do that was because me and Anna got married on September 8th. So we'll be celebrating our 18th, 19th, 20. We'll be celebrating what? Our 4-year anniversary this year? Wedding anniversary? Hooah! Or is that our 3rd? Oh my God, Adam, know your shit. 2018 to 2019 is 1 year. 2019 to 2020 is 2 years. Maybe it is 4 years. I don't know. Who knows? I should really know these things, but I'm stuffed up. Anyway, it's already 45 minutes. Get on with that. And we're almost through, guys. We're actually getting through really well. So the wedding was absolutely wonderful. We loved it. We had a great time. We loved everyone who came. And it was very emotional and fun. I won't go into it right now. I'll tell that story. I'll tell more about it another day. Just the fun things that happened. So anyway, then we did, like I said, we did grab bag in September. It was fun. And then, did we? Or did we not? We might have been on our honeymoon. I can't remember if we did the show or not. We might have been it. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. I think we were there. I think we had just come back. That might have been it. I don't know. Memory's hard. Anyway, regardless, I'm sure it was a great show. Then October we did The Dark Meat. Didn't sell out, unfortunately. It feels like we had 3 performances, but I don't remember. I feel like maybe we got 4. Anyway, we did okay. But it was like they had mentioned, and a lot of theaters had mentioned, because it was Halloween time or something, a lot of theaters were not getting a lot of audiences. And I get it. I love Halloween. Was that when we had the Halloween party? was it the next year? Adam, you should know these things. No, it was the previous year we had a Halloween party, which was super fun, and I went as Wolverine. And I had like these, I forgot to mention that last year because I had so much else to talk about. But I had these, I didn't have official claws, so I just taped some plastic silverware to my to my hands. But I had a swank ass leather jacket, and I grew out the button chops, had the little fake cigar and stuff. So I looked very much like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, so that was super cool. Anyway, back to 2018, Adam. So we didn't do a Halloween party that year. Was Anna doing? No, that was many years ago that Anna did the haunt. That's fun. That's her story anyway. Yeah, we did Night of Improviser. I believe that was just an improv show. Let me double check. What was that? Was that an improv show, Adam? I don't know. It was there. We did it. I think it was an improv show. Who knows? Fuck, I don't give a crap. Anyway, I remember we took November off. Looks like we did. Yes, Adam, we took November off. Very good, Adam. You know things. Presented that. Yeah, I just see that. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we took November off just because we were doing a lot of stuff. I don't think it was a sketch show though. I think it was an improv show. It wasn't bad, but I remember we did it, and that was the end of that. So I'm not gonna do anything else. Good. I'm not talking about anything else. Anyway, and then we did our holiday extravaganza. We did auditions again for people to come into 2019 with us, and it was wonderful. Rhys came out to the auditions. We got Josephine, we got Amanda, we got Zoe. We had another girl who only came to one rehearsal. Her name was Chelsea. She only came to one rehearsal because she lived in Tacoma. Totally understandable. Who else? Zoe, Josie, Savon. They had a great audition. We had a lot of fun, and we added them all to the group just to replenish things. Because we had people, in and out. Jag was doing his thing. Oh yeah, Jag did do the Ghost Light show, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. That was cool. And after Dark Meat, we didn't do anything else for the rest of the year besides improv and sketch. We did our holiday extravaganza show. I believe yes, we did. We brought back the crappy gift sketch for this new cast, and we did some improv games, and it was a lot of fun. We had decent crowd, and it was a good way to end the year. So, hey, look, guys, we're under an hour. Woo! I don't think I've forgotten anything about 2018. I got married, and that was cool. Got engaged and got married, and I'll talk about my marriage. Well, I'll do another story time where I talk about my love adventures before meeting Anna and when meeting Anna. But I'm not going to bore you with that right now because my throat's a little dry anyway. So anyway, cool guys. This is 2018. I know it's not quite as elaborate as the last couple of years have been, but we'll be getting into 2019. If I don't do it Tuesday, I might do it next week. We'll see how things go. Because me and Anna are going to be going out of town on Wednesday and be gone through Saturday. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. So, cool, guys. This has been part 8, I believe. Maybe part 9, maybe 8. I don't know. I'll double check. I'm right there with the channel, Adam. All you have to do is check. I'm talking to myself now. I may need, I don't know what I need. More Pepsi. Anyway. Yes, cool guys. Thank you for checking out this part, and I'll try to do more other things on this channel too. But right now, like I said, fighting this stuffed up feeling. Although I'm starting to feel a little bit better, so that's good. Cool. Thanks for checking it out, guys, and like and subscribe, and keep supporting Turbo Turkey. And if you are in the Seattle area this Sunday, 7 o'clock, Grotto. We are doing our Sketch Havoc comedy show if you want to see some live sketch comedy. And it is pay what you want, so don't feel obligated like, oh, I don't have any money this week. Hey, that's cool. Just come on out. We don't care if you pay or not. It's all good. We do it for the art. Cool. I will see you back next week for 2019. More fun things to come. Good night, guys.